What's going on YouTube? My name is Frank. I am the owner of Vision Tactical and VisionTactical.com. We're a Kydex manufacturer for the airsoft industries. We manufacture holsters, knife sheaths, flashbang holders, all kinds of cool stuff. So it's a little different than what you'll see here on YouTube. You normally used to see in do-it-yourself Kydex and Kydex videos for the real steel world. We just do it for the airsoft world. Now, I've been wanting to do this video for a while, and this is one of those I kind of had to think about, should I do it, should I not do it, but since it kind of involves people's money, I decided I'd go ahead and do it, and I'll explain here in a minute a little more what this video is about. But this is a video response to the PhillyEDC Do-It-Yourself Kydex Holster Part 1 and Part 2. Now, in no way am I saying he doesn't know what he's talking about, or, you know, saying anything bad about him. John's done a lot for the Kydex, do-it-yourself Kydex maker, as well as companies. You know, he's come a long way in Kydex. So I'm not saying anything about he doesn't know what he's doing. I just want to correct some of the information in that video, because that video gives all kinds of part numbers and, you know, buy this and buy that, and a lot of it's really bad info. Now, to get a little more knowledge about myself, before I got into airsoft, I was a machinist. I'm a journeyman machinist. I'm also very proficient in CNC programming, CNC setup. I served an apprenticeship with a Japanese machine tool manufacturer as a service engineer. So that's my background. So I think that really helped when I started making Kydex. I had a good knowledge of what goes on in real manufacturing, and I could kind of carry that over and adapt it to the, you know, quote unquote do-it-yourself Kydex, which that's what Vision Tactical is. We're not injecting molding Kydex. We don't have some big factory. We do it all in this sweaty little shop right here, and using, you know, toaster ovens and plywood and foam, just like everybody else. The only difference is we took it to a bigger scale. But I wanted to address some of the things in that PhillyEDC video that are just really wrong, and he's not going to take that video down because it's very popular. I hope he posts this as a response. I've been doing Kydex now for about 8 months. So I think we've got a real good handle on how it works and what to do and what not to do. So again, this is nothing bad about PhillyEDC at all. Don't jump all over me. This is just to save you guys some time and some money, because when I started, I followed his video and I took a lot of it for gospel and then quickly figured out that was just a waste of my money. Now, first up is the heat source. And to make Kydex, you got to bring it to 310, 330 degrees so it'll form to your holster or your magazine, whatever you're making. So you need a heat source. Now, you can do this with a heat gun, but you get a very uneven heat. It's too much, you know, trial and error trying to get the whole thing to heat up, so it doesn't work good. So most people use a toaster oven. And I can say this right now, do not use your oven or your toaster oven that you're going to use to prepare food. Kydex is toxic, okay? You don't want to be using your food source oven or toaster to make Kydex. Do not do it. Most people, like I said, use a toaster oven. In the PhillyEDC videos, he didn't say go buy this one, but this is the one he uses. And this is the one I actually got because I was at Lowe's. I was getting my plywood and some other supplies to start making my press. And I was like, what the hell, I'll go over and check this out. He said it's a good enough oven. And lo and behold, there it was. It was on clearance. It had a little scratch on the side, so I got it really cheap. And so I bought it. And I can tell you right now, these small toaster ovens are junk. They're worthless. They're too small. The temperature fluctuation when you open and close the doors is too great. And if you watch his, I believe it's in the part 2 video, he talks about setting this on 100 degrees, and then you take your little thermometer and you open it, and you check your Kydex, and you turn it up, and then you do it, and you turn it up, and it takes like forever to heat a frickin' piece of plastic. The reason he has to do that is because the oven is too small, okay? It's way too small. Also, he does one side at a time, which is more kind of bullshit. You want to mold something like this, do both sides at a time. You squish it in between foam, put it in there, squish it, you're done with it, okay? You don't injection mold a half of something unless you're going to assemble it. You have to assemble the thing. You do both sides. But the reason he has to do this creep up on the temperature is because of that small oven. They're junk. What you want to do is, this one here is one of the most preferred by Kydex makers, whether it's a do-it-yourselfer or somebody who's in business. This is what we use at Vision Tactical. It's the GE convection toaster oven from Walmart. They cost about 50 bucks. Link is in the description. I don't know the exact model number. But this one here, you can see it's just a hell of a lot bigger. Okay, I use the drip pan to cover the elements on the bottom. That way the heat is just not blasting on your Kydex. Then I use the pan that came with it to put my Kydex on, and it doesn't matter. It's got the stamping on it. It's got this recess here. Doesn't matter. No big deal. And then if I want, I've made another one to go up here, so I can do 2 or 3 layers at once. But this thing here, I can put both sides of the holster in, heat it up, be done with it. None of this frickin' dicking around. What I do with this one, I found I set it here about 310 degrees. I have it on bake. I put it on stay on. So when I get ready to do my Kydex, I go ahead and I turn the thing on, and I wait till you hear the click of the thermostat. Once you hear that thermostat click, you know it's up to temperature. And these here, this is what I was making today. It's our knife sheath, and as you can see, it's a very small piece of Kydex. It's 0.080 thick. It is, I start out with a 4-inch by 8-inch piece. So when I hear this thing click and it comes up to temperature, I just throw my Kydex in there. And I wait, and I don't sit here and open and close. Oh my God, I gotta check it, oh my God. Okay, you don't want to overheat Kydex. At 400 degrees, this stuff becomes toxic, seriously toxic. But what you want to do, and you'll get used to after you made 1 or 2, you'll start to smell it. About 300 degrees, you'll start to smell that Kydex. So don't sit here, open, close, open, close. Oh, that's bullshit. Wait for that smell. Okay, you get used to it. Your first one, yeah, you got to open and close. You're kind of getting used to it. But then, okay, it's around 310 degrees. I actually make these sheaths. That's where I like it. I like it at 310. It's done. Take it out. Boom. No hassle. No sitting here. Open, close, open, close, open, close. That's bullshit. Okay? Now, it will expand. It will shrink a little bit. It just depends on the Kydex. It's not the oven. Like my Coyote Brown right now shrinks like crazy. My black expands. Okay? The last time I ordered Coyote Brown, it didn't shrink at all. It's always different. It's not the oven. It's the Kydex that changes. Okay, so all I can say is stay away from these little ones. This Euro Pro is Euro garbage for Kydex. You want to go with the bigger one. Extra 20 bucks here, and I got the bigger one from Walmart. Great oven, preheat it, no dicking around. It literally takes me 5 minutes to heat it, bring a piece of Kydex to temperature, and get it in the press. All right, now next up is the foam. And if you're going to make just a holster or 2 for yourself, and you're on knifekits.com and you're going to order your Kydex and your eyelets and all the stuff, you buy the foam from them. It's no big deal. That's what I did when I was first designing our products. I just bought everything from them because it was easy. But if you're getting into it as you want to do a little business, or you're going to make a bunch of them, that foam is expensive, because basically you're going to get, you know, 2 pieces, you know, one by 1 piece, 2 pieces, 20 something bucks. Ridiculous. So what you want to do is go on foam4u.com, and you can basically get a whole roll for the same price. Now I know this is 1/2 inch. I use all different thicknesses of foam, but you can basically get triple the amount for the same price, even a little more. I don't have my last order from them. But what you do is go on foam4u.com, look in their closed cell neoprene regular foam, and it's great, gets great definition, it lasts a long time. I've been using this, God, I've been using this piece for I don't know how long, and it's still kicking, works great. And like I said, for like 30 something bucks, you get half a roll instead of 2 pieces. From Knife Kits or USA Knife Makers, that's going to cost you basically the same thing. So foam4u.com, best place to get your foam, or use what you can find around the house. Closed cell foam, that's all you need, 1 inch thick, works great. All right, now next up on the kind of correction of PhillyEDC's videos are the eyelets. When I first started learning, like I said, I watched his videos. I kind of took what he said as gospel, because he makes really nice stuff. He's done a lot of videos. And he said to buy the eyelets, and these are eyelets, they're not rivets. Everybody calls them a rivet, but they're an eyelet. He says buy the ones that are the number 8 to number 9, which fit 80 thousandths to 93 thousandths thick Kydex. And also he was using the Journeyman eyelet setter from Knife Kits, which is exactly the one I got. It's cheaper. I didn't want to have to machine my press to fit the other one. So I bought the Journeyman eyelet setter, like he recommended, which is a very good product. And I bought the eyelets that he recommended, which were the number 8 to number 9, 0.080 to 0.93, or 80 thousandths to 93 thousandths eyelets. Okay, fine and dandy. I didn't have a problem. But when I started setting eyelets, I started splitting them left and right. I was splitting like 1 and 4. And again, back to the beginning of the video, I'm a machinist by background, so I know I've set them before, and I know I wasn't putting too much pressure on them, yada, yada, yada. So anyways, after some investigation and some talking with some other people on KydexForum.com, come to find out the 80 thousandths to 93 thousandths eyelet is not real compatible with this die set. Now, I don't use 0.093 Kydex. I use all 80 thousandths, with the exception of belt loops. Obviously, use the 1/8 inch, but I don't use the 93. So I decided to switch and buy just the straight up number 8 1/4 inch eyelet, which you see here. I started to buy these, and lo and behold, I haven't split an eyelet since. I have not split a one. We set hundreds and hundreds a week, and I haven't split a single one. So I went from splitting 1 and 4 to splitting none. And my guess is this Journeyman die from Knife Kits, the dimensions just don't work with 80 thousandths thick Kydex and the 80 to 93 thousandths eyelet. So save yourself a lot of headache. If you're not doing 0.093 Kydex, just buy the number 8 1/4 inch eyelets that are made for 80 thousandths thick Kydex. Save yourself a lot of headache, because I hate splitting rivet or splitting eyelets, trying to take them out. Next up, that brings me to another good one. PhillyEDC, he says buy these. These are those pin puller, automotive pin pullers. Buy these, the easiest thing to get out eyelets. And I thought, well, he's got the experience, might as well buy a pair. He's gives the website, he gives the part number and everything. These are junk, these are worthless, the worthless piece of crap. Okay, don't waste your money. If you should happen to split an eyelet, the easiest thing to do is find a drill or a countersink that is just a little bit bigger than the diameter of the post of the eyelet. Just a little bit bigger, not by much. 10 thousandths, 15 thousandths. And all you do is just by hand, just keep rubbing it on that eyelet. Because they're just brass. They're all brass. Just keep rubbing it and rubbing it and rubbing it, and eventually you'll get to where it cracks through and it'll just pop apart nice and easy. No marking on your Kydex, no ruining your holsters, no frustration trying to get it out. It's just that easy. But these things here that PhillyEDC recommends, these are garbage. They don't work. They mark up your freaking Kydex like crazy. They're a pain in the ass. So just use a countersink or a drill, or you can use a little pair of dikes. If you have a nice pointy pair, it's got a good sharp point, and you can just go around and just clip your eyelet and just kind of roll it back. But I use a drill, and I put some electrical tape around it, and I just sit there and roll it, roll it, roll it, and eventually it'll cut through the eyelet and get it right off. All right, next up is the press, and this is not anything really to do with his video. This is just my own personal preference. I started out, like everybody, with just a couple good thick pieces of nice plywood, screwed them together, and using clamps. And I can tell you what, after doing 1 or 2 holsters, I thought, this clamping stuff sucks. So that's when I changed to this right here. This was originally, I'd used a couple carriage bolts, and I ran it through the bottom. I had carriage bolts, and I had a washer and nut on top, and I'd put my, have my foam, put my gun, my Kydex, put the top piece on, take a ratchet, tighten down the carriage bolts, right? I thought, ooh, man, this is way better than clamps. Well, the problem with that is there's little pieces come off the threads on the carriage bolts, off the bolts. It might touch on the wood. There's always a little bit of shrapnel coming through. So your bottom piece would wind up with crap all over it. Carriage bolts don't work. It was easier. It was easier than the clamps, but it doesn't work. So again, if you're going to do 1 or 2 holsters, you can use the clamps. I actually use C clamps. I didn't use those other ones that Philly shows in his video. That works fine, but it's a pain in the ass. So if you're doing 1 or 2, sure, use clamps. You can sit on it, you can stand on it, whatever you got to do to put pressure on the Kydex in between the plywood and the foam. Me personally, right here, the good old shop press. This is the only way to fly. If you're going to make a lot of holsters, the shop press is the way to go. A lot of people go, ooh, that's 12 tons. I'm going to break something. You have to get used to it. It's a feel. I actually look. I look to see when the foam touches. Once it starts to touch, you know it's not that much more to get it to make some good definition. Very easy to set up, very easy to adjust. Definitely the way to go. The clamping method, if you want forearms, if you need some forearm muscle, go ahead and buy the clamps. But if you want to save time, do it quickly, right here's the way to go. The little shop press too, this comes from Harbor Freight. I was lucky enough to get like a 20% off coupon and the sale, and I got it real cheap. This one is good. The small 6-ton they have is no good. It's way too small. Okay, it might fit 1 or 2 holsters, but then you start doing different things, it's just a pain in the ass. Plus, you got to have that room. You got to have that room to put your Kydex in, put your gun in, get the top piece in. Like, you know, I use these blocks just so I have room to work, you know. So that little one at Harbor Freight sells is miserable. Avoid it. Avoid it. It's not worth your money. If you're going to do Kydex in numbers, trying to make a little business out of it, right here's the way to go. A shop press, or look it up on YouTube for a do-it-yourself press that uses a scissor jack, uses your existing, a bottle jack you already own. You don't have to buy this. You can make this out of wood if you want. You can make it out of scrap, whatever you want to do. If you're lucky enough you have a welder and some material, boom, make your own. I mean, it's just simple. It's a freaking bottle jack with a spring to return it when you let the pressure off, and table you can adjust. So doing it with the clamps, no way. Make the same type of press, but use the jack. So that's the end of my equipment tutorial for do-it-yourself Kydex. And next, we'll address the Kydex manufacturing process itself.